Hey guys, welcome to Better Together. This week I just wanted to kind of give an update on how I'm doing and where I'm at. I've been feeling kind of like a little bit down, and maybe not as much down as apathetic. Like, things have just not gotten me very excited. It was just something I was kind of experiencing and wasn't even fully aware of. I could just feel like my drive to connect and to spend time with people was like diminishing. I had the opportunity to talk to a friend who was able to speak truth into my experience, like tell me things that I needed to hear about my situation and about my life and about who I am and about all kinds of things. And so they weren't able to do that until A, we connected and talked, and B, they were only able to do that because they were a good friend, but more specifically because I had already been telling them my journey through this past year, which has been a long journey. They didn't require me to tell them all these details, especially since I didn't really want to talk about anything because there wasn't, in my mind, much to talk about. But they were able to speak truth into my life because I had invested into that relationship over time. I had shared along the journey. And so then when I got to a point where I was kind of confused and didn't understand how I was thinking and what I was feeling, and didn't even realize there was much to think or feel about, they were able to identify that and be like, hey, this is maybe you should think about this a little differently. And that was really great because it helped get me a little bit out of my funk. But what I realized through this whole thing is that it's so important to be sharing with somebody or multiple people how you're really doing. And I think that goes so contrary to the way I think about things. It's so easy to want to project how you think you should be doing or how you imagine people imagine how you should be doing. And for some of us, it's kind of hard to get into the details about how we're struggling with certain things. But it's so healthy to have those relationships where you are able to feel safe and invest. So I'm thankful for that, and that's something that this week I'm reminded of how important that is and wanting to do more of that. And so that's something that I think you can be purposeful about. I think you have to be really careful about who you share things with. But when somebody proves themselves to be a good friend, I think that's where you have to say, you know what? I need to really invest in this. And investing in a relationship doesn't have to be anything crazy. It's just making yourself emotionally vulnerable, I think. Somebody else reached out to me this week and said, what does it mean to be close with somebody? And as I thought about that, my first reaction was well, you know that person, you understand them and they understand you, and you share with that person. And I think there's a lot more to it, there's loyalty and there's all kinds of things. But the point here is that being close with someone is a great asset. It's a beautiful thing. You're giving of yourself and they're giving of you, and that relationship is a good and beautiful thing. And it takes a lot of work to invest in relationship, to share and to open into, really meet someone else's need when it doesn't seem like it's worthwhile. But there's such benefit there in terms of when you are going through a difficult time and you're going through a confused time, having somebody who has insight into who you are and what you've gone through is invaluable. It adds so much to the conversation. I want to just throw out there also that if you're in a situation, and sometimes I'm in the same situation, where your friends aren't available, or you don't even know really who your true friends are, it's such a benefit to be able to know that there is one that is always there. You can always pray to God, and He will always be there to listen. And so that's a beautiful thing, that even when you're in a place where you're like, there's no one I can talk to, you can talk to God. And if you think about a really good relationship, someone being close, someone who knows you, and someone who can speak truth into your life, there is no more perfect person than God himself, who created us, and can see the truth of a situation so much clearer than you or even a great friend can. And so that relationship is even more valuable than the closest of friends. Even when we feel like there's no one else around us, God is always there. So that's me this week. I feel just encouraged that I do have friends that are able to speak truth into my life, and I am able to be purposeful about investing in those relationships. So that's really the challenge this week. I don't think it's even a challenge. I think it's just a mandate for who I want to be as a person. And that is investing in relationships and, being wise about who I share with, but also being purposeful, knowing that that is what is going to help grow my relationships, so that when I am in a place where I'm confused, those friends are able to be there for me when, if I don't open up to them, they're not able to do that, even if they want to. And also that perfect reminder that God is always there. So I hope you're encouraged by this. It's always good to be reminded that relationships are so important and to invest in them. So go ahead and call a friend, text a friend, reach out, and share how you're doing, and also be willing to hear how they are, because that is the foundation of really enjoying life itself, is investing in relationship. So have a great week. Remember, we're better together, and it's progress, not perfection. Take care.